Welcome back, folks, to FlashPoint Weekend Update. So the biggest events that happened these two past weeks were the release of the 9.19.1 common test server, and it broke. It took like 5 days to patch that up. And also the annual Bovington Tank Museum's Tank Fest that Wargaming constantly participate in, but it's a little bit more in-depth this year because of the release of the premium Tiger 131. So more crossover promotional event, I guess. But other than that, there's not that much big news happening in the background. So these two past weeks have been somewhat dry. But the developers themselves have released some info about the vehicle changes in patch 9.20. So basically French high-tier mediums, tank destroyers, Japanese heavy tanks, German Mouse, Tiger 88, and the Russian high-tier mediums have been somewhat leaked or talked about, but supposedly there are more buffs for the Russian heavy tanks and maybe a few others. But right now, it's mostly partial stats, like the hard stats, such as DPM or accuracy, but the soft stats have not been covered, like terrain resistance or dispersion or ammo count. So I wouldn't put all these stats as final just yet, because some of these stats are questionable, like really questionable, especially for the batch at 25T. A lot of players are complaining that the switch from the 105 to the 100 is basically nerfing the vehicle. I do agree, that is pretty horse crap. Why would you take away the autoloading 105? I don't know. So basically they put a better pen version of the 100mm to replace the 105, and only 6 rounds, so less clip burst out of the whole clip. But it's a shitstorm. So the only way I can see that they're going to redeem the batch chat by putting that gun is maybe put an 8-round clip of the 100mm. That would be insane. And add like 48 rounds or 40 rounds to the ammo loadout. Yeah, I'll take that over the 105. But right now, if they're going to put like 30 rounds of the 100mm and with lower shell velocity and lower alpha, it's also, yeah, overview of all the nerfs and the buffs. I think they nerfed the T54. They buffed the DPM, sure, but they nerfed the accuracy a lot. 0.35 to 0.39. And 2.3 seconds of aim time to 2.5. And just like, oh god. But they did buff the more penetration 100mm. Because they buffed the aim time from 2.9 seconds to 2. And better accuracy, but still. Why are you even touching these vehicles? They don't need to be touched. Touch the OPS premium tanks or the super underpowered like vehicles such as the T-34-2. And they're touching the T-44, which is good, but also touch vehicles like AT-15 or something. Like most British tanks, French tanks, Japanese low-tier mediums like the Cheery. Holy crap, come on. So yeah. I'm going to wait for the full stats to do the videos about them, because don't want to do like step videos, like constantly bombard you with videos about each stage of the changes before they are finalized. So that's stupid. So I'll wait and see all the soft stats like the terrain resistance, the ammo count, the dispersion on movement. So there's a lot of stuff. But right now, yeah, it doesn't look good. Also, the patch is currently planned for mid-August, whereas 9.19.1 is supposed to be arriving in middle of this month, middle of July. So technically next month, but it's the end of the month. So alright, so basically for Summer Marathon, the T-34-85M is going to be marathoned on North America server. I thought we're getting the Tiger 131 or 217 from the Russian news page, but guess not. So we already have the 131 on sale for North America, for EU and Asian server, but not on the RU server. So maybe they are getting the 131 as a marathon mission. So interesting, but does that mean there's no marathon event for EU and Asian server? So we got the T3485M as the compensation or the substitute. What about EU and the Asian servers? So who knows? And I doubt it's the Tiger 217 because of the event order. So 9.19.1 should be released after this event, but that's where the Tiger 217 is currently located. All the files, all the data, so guess EU and Asian servers are missing out. Well, then again, Asian server has the Valkyria Chronicles vehicles. So basically EU is missing out. Oh well, EU gets shafted every time. Such meme. Also, there's more reskinned cash grab on the console version. So you have the Frostbite Grizzly tank M4. So this is the Canadian built M4, which should have 3 inches of upper plate armor, which is about 75 millimeters. Then the 2-inch, which is about 50-ish, 51 millimeter. So should be a little bit better armor, but it's basically a Canadian M4 with the gigantic maple leaf. So it's a reskin. Should be, but I still think it's a cash grab. So if you're playing on the PC version, you can just paint this. I already showed you guys how to paint stuff, and you can do this in like 5 minutes. So cash grab, wonderful. And the Matilda, what's Defiance Matilda? Ugh. It's just a Defiance logo with the normal camo. Alright, and we have the Vindicator Charioteer. That looks like a 20-pounder, not a 105. The 105 has the board evacuator at the middle, similar to the Centurions, but it's a stock Charioteer? Oh, wonderful. So exciting. Ooh, whoopee. I mean, I do prefer vehicles such as the FV305 because it's somewhat different, but this is basically a Charioteer. This is basically a Matilda and a M4. Wonderful. Cash grab. Also, good news, Milky Man is back. So he was on break. He had some issues and need to take a few days off, but he's back, so thank God. So you can go back to his website. The link still works, thankfully. But don't forget to check out the mod portal, the official port website thing for all the already judged content. So it got passed through the moderators, and they are good, and therefore you don't have to worry about using them. But I already provide you guys with a link in the description below, so you already should know about this website if you already watched FlashPoint in the past, but the link's down there, so go right ahead. But I checked out one guy's skin. His name is Professor, but he's the guy who did the T25 Pilot number 1 skin that I showcased a few weeks ago, but he did a few more skins. So here is the T54 model 1945, the prototype, but he added a cage, space size skirts, looks pretty awesome. Now just buff this vehicle. They're buffing it, but yeah, it's a pretty looking skin. Different fuel tanks, diversity, that's good. And here's the AMX CDC. He added a few headlights, searchlights, and side skirts, ropes, and basket for the back of the turret, fire extinguisher, good stuff. And I like this one pretty much, the STRV 103B. So he added the fuel tanks to the sides as space armor, added a camo net and a few bags and other stuff, basically turning this vehicle into the STRV 103C somewhat, but looks pretty sweet. And the extinguisher, the fume exhaust port thing, sure, looks pretty nice. So that's pretty much it for this week. Yeah, dry weeks, nothing to talk about. But the community question for this week is, What's the most underperforming, underpowered vehicle in World of Tanks? In my opinion, it's the T-34-2. So I like this tank, but the armor is crap. Turret armor is mediocre because it's only 180 at the front, rounded, but you can get through that with about 200 millimeters of pin. So if you shoot at the cheeks, like directly middle of the cheeks. Also, the gun sucks compared to the penetration, the alpha, the aim time, the accuracy. The dispersion on movement sucks. It's somewhat mobile, but it's kind of blind. 380 meters of view range, low health, and that's pretty much it. I do want to like this tank, but everybody just skips it. Everybody just plays with the WZ-131 into the WZ-120 and then the 121. But this vehicle is... ugh. So, other than this vehicle, I think maybe the FV-4005, maybe... what's another one? ARL V39. A lot of the British tanks, a lot of the French tanks, a lot of the Japanese mediums, like middle tier, such as the Cheery. Ooh, it's huge. Just give it like a 10 round autoloading clip of the 75mm. Holy crap, that would be amazing. No, too OP. So leave your comments below, and also leave your questions below, and I'll try to answer them, such as random questions or whatever. But that's the community question stuff. So let's answer a few. But any news on the Chinese tank destroyers? And will North American server get them? No, North American server will probably not, because their files are missing from the res folder. We do have the scripts on the common test server, and we do have the actual files for the WZ-120, 1G, and the GFT. But those are premium tanks, premium tier 9 and premium tier 8. The rest normal vehicles are missing. They only have the script. So I highly doubt that we're going to see these vehicles, but it could be like the WZ-111 premium tier 8 that got changed from Chinese server exclusive to all the servers, or the T-44-100, or the 59 patent, or what else? And the 121B. So we don't know yet, but it's mostly likely not for the near future. So yeah, don't put your hopes up. But when will tanks like the T-32 be updated? Yeah, tanks like the British heavy tanks have been neglected for years. Yeah, T-32 originally, before all the introduction of the Jumbo Pershing and all the OP-ass Chrysler Ks and Object 252Us, the T-32 was considered as mediocre because of the gun. It used the same gun on the T-29. Penetration was good for a tier 7. Mediocre for a tier 9. Mediocre for a tier 8. And pretty crap for M103. But it was decent because of the turret, and that was pretty much it. It's mostly a heavy medium tank hybrid with haul down, and you have to haul down a lot. But now it's, yeah, power crept. It's not as bad as the T-34-2, I can tell you that, but I wish they updated that vehicle and give it like maybe the first 120 on the M103, but I think that's kind of an overkill. Well, not really. I mean, you do have the T-34 with 120. Maybe give it a short barrel 120, but historically, that never happened. Well, historically, the 120 doesn't exist. Not, let alone the 155 on the T-95. The T-95 used the 105. So, I don't know anymore. And as for the British heavy tanks, we talked about the Super Conqueror and the Carnarvon receiving a better turret from the annual Wargaming Fest with the HD pictures, but the Super Conqueror is basically a Super Pershing on the Conqueror with a bunch of space armor and stuff. But what happened to that? It's been 6 months, 7 months. Jesus. So I don't know. I hope they do update stuff, but it does seem like patch 9.20 is going to be the global rebalance. Maybe, hopefully. They're changing stuff that they shouldn't be changing, so I don't know. I really don't. I don't know what. I would like to talk to the balancing department, especially the head developer for the balancing, and punch him in the face. Yeah, that's pretty much it. What do you think about the off-clearums Panther should be coming back? And do you think it should be coming back? That's the same double question. The Awful Panther, never played it. I stopped at the VK2801, but it's pretty fast from originally fighting against it. I think it should be coming back as a legacy vehicle, a legacy premium tank that if you already played the game for like 4 years or 5 years, you will get it for free. I doubt that's going to be. That's not going to be happening. That's too generous. That's if I was the developer, I would do that, because why not? You have all these tanks. Give this vehicle is not overpowered. Just give them back to the players. Let them work for it, quote unquote, or just marathon for it. But yeah, that's me as a developer, not wargaming. So I would like to see more tanks. It's World of Tanks, not World of one vehicle, like copies of T-44s and T-54s. Ugh. What's your favorite tier in the game? Well, maybe tier 8. Well, tier 8 is good against tier 6, so you bully, and you have no responsibility if you're bottom tier against tier 10s, so tier 8. But if you play tier 10, then all responsibilities are put on you. If you play tier 6, then you get trashed on by tier 8. So basically tier 8. Tier 8's good. Yeah, if you play premium tier 8, that's even better with preferential matchmaking, but now it's just OPS Chrysler case. And how many times did the Browns beat the Bengals this year? Oh, I stopped watching football right after 2009. So I started watching football in high school, and that was the golden years of the revival of the Bengals franchise from 2005 to 2011 or so. But after Carson Palmer left, I stopped watching. So I don't know. If it's Brown, flush it down. That's always the same. But I don't think the Browns beat the Bengals. Like, they're still in their losing streak. All these years, like 20 years later, they're still losing. So who knows? I stopped watching, but yeah, come at me. I live in Cincinnati. Bring the shizzle. All right. So Sam, my question is: are new maps a thing of the past for random battles? I feel no YouTubers talk about new maps anymore. Blah 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 blah. So basically, yeah. In my honest opinion, if Wargaming decided to go 1 year without putting new vehicles into the game, but adding like 100 new maps, I would consider that as a good year. So instead of adding new tanks, like adding new vehicles by like 20 for a tech tree or 10 for premium collection, just add 100 new maps. Yeah, go ahead. That's a good year. Why does video games like Call of Duty or Battlefield have map packs? That's because everybody has the weapons. Now give them more maps. Give them more areas to shoot at. Holy shit, we make money. So just have a full year of map packs, like 100 new maps. That'll be great. So now they're focusing on HD remodels of the maps, and therefore there are not that many new maps in the recent history. So basically they're converting all the maps, and then they're adding new maps in HD version. So they talked about that during Wargaming Fest, and that was 7 months ago. So who the hell knows? But oh god, it's a snail pace. English is hard. So in your opinion, which tank needs buff? For example, I hated the T-34-100 and the TVP VTU, the AMX M4 model 1945, and the IKV-103. Well, for the IKV-103, it's a meme tank. So with high explosive anti-tank round, you cannot penetrate Sherman Jumbos, but basically you shotgun all low tier vehicles. I sold mine, but it's a meme tank. It's not supposed to be good, so stick to the IKV-65 alternate number 2 if you can. But AMX M4 model 1945 tier 7 French heavy. I stopped at the BDR. I thought of the BDR, took a look, I quit. I don't want to play with the BDR. I don't want to play with the ARL 44. I quit. So yeah, I'm still waiting for the AMX 65T that I covered like a year ago. What happened to the second line of French heavy tanks, actual French heavy tanks? I thought the Liberté would signal the release of the second line of French heavies, like the super heavies, like the ones with armor, but that didn't happen. What the frick? So, I don't know. TVP VTU, yeah. Compare that to the Defender, it's good. Oh shit. So yeah, joke. T-34-100. The only bad part about that vehicle is the gun depression. The rest of the vehicle is somewhat okay, I guess. I mean, you have vehicles like the Comet, but if that tank, if the T-34-100 has 7 degrees of gun depression instead of 5, I think it would be a lot better. But right now, it's basically a tier 6 with a larger gun at tier 7. And that's it. Boring. So, I don't know. Mostly French tanks, British tanks, Japanese mediums at middle tier, Chinese mediums at middle tier. All the tanks that are not American, German, and Russian. That's it. So Wargaming focuses on American, Russian tanks, and German tanks. Yeah, those are the most tweaked vehicles. Outside of that bubble, stuff just lies there and rot. Ugh. So Sam, what new line would you think they will implement this year? The Polish tanks, mostly. Presumably from the Poodle and the Tankette, the NKS Tankette, and the NKBDR, the tugboat thing you already saw from the previous video, forgot the name. So mostly the Polish, but we thought about that last year. We thought it was the Polish last year, but then it was the Swedish for Gamescom that happened in August. So we'll find out relatively shortly from the summer events like Gamescom. So we'll see, but I'm guessing the Polish, like 80%. So would you ever consider playing on the console version of World of Tanks and other stuff? Well, I do have a PS2. I still kept mine from 2004. Oh, but yeah, for the console version, you need a PS4 and a Xbox 360 or Xbox One. I don't even know, but I prefer to play third-person adventure games with the console, such as Uncharted or Prince of Persia. But for shooters, it's pretty rough to aim stuff. So always got used to the mouse and keyboard for Call of Duty and Battlefield. Never for shooting stuff like Halo. Got super pissed playing against my friends during high school on Halo with the console version because you freaking can't aim. So maybe not. And with the skin fiesta of reskinning and basically cash grabbing, I guess not. So sorry about that. What do you think about World of Warplanes 2.0? It might save the game. Well, on the EU server, there's like 5,000 players per day, so it's not as bad, I guess, but I saw the footage. I think it looks a little bit better, I guess, but I'm not, well versed in the World of Warplanes or World of Warships, so I cannot really tell you. If it's good or not. But why do I not play World of Warplanes? That's a better question. Well, I find that if I can get shot at by machine guns, and if I don't have armor, that basically is flying Call of Duty, mostly. So whoever gets a better shot, obviously win. But there's obviously technical, strategies like climbing and diving and turning speed, all good stuff, stuff that's different than Call of Duty, which is basically a Twitch shooter. So who can ever click faster? But I don't know. I mean, I still prefer tanks. I grew up with tanks. I grew up with racing cars. So I do prefer cars and tanks over planes mostly, but that's just my psyche. So I don't know. And I prefer to have rockets and other stuff, but I can't tell you. I can't. Hey Sam, why does World of Tanks PC Premium never make it to the World of Tanks Blitz? And why does Blitz get these weird anime tanks? I just wish I could get PC Premium tanks. Well, play PC Premium or play PC version of the game. Problem solved. But you don't have artillery on the Blitz version, so that's a plus. And you don't have to play on the computer. You can play it while doing your business in the bathroom. So that's good, I guess. But I find that Blitz and console version of World of Tanks is getting to a gray spot or dicey spot of over cross promotion or over selling out per se, because if you haven't saw the recent ads or billboards with advertisements in Blitz advertising this energy drink, I guess, called Tornado or something, but yeah, hashtag ad, right? So I don't know. I would recommend you stick to the PC, and I would recommend you stick to the North America version, because EU version constantly gets shafted, and that's pretty much it. So I don't know. I really don't. But for Blitz, it's more catering towards the Asian server, because there are more, I guess, more mobile games and better transaction. I don't know. I really don't. Hard questions, really hard. You can ask me other questions, like personal questions. I don't know. Like, Sam, how old are you? I'm 27, if you're wondering, but hey. So, last question. Can you once put some hip-hop music in the end? Just once, damn it. Well, there you go. That's this week, FlashPoint for the week of June 30th, 2017. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Mama.